The longest tenured coach in the University of Rhode Island's history is retiring. Mick Westkott is hanging up his stopwatch after leading the Rams swimming programs for 5 decades. Sports director Nick Coit caught up with him during his final days in Kingston.
Well, Ian, URI has been able to bring in and/or keep some quality coaches for its programs recently. But news this week of one of its most legendary calling it a career. Mick Westkott has led the men's and/or women's swimming programs here for 50 years in Kingston and leaves a legacy that will endure far beyond any achievements in the pool.
When you start something like this, you just don't know where it's going to end. But it's time.
For 5 decades, Mick Westkott has been a pillar at the University of Rhode Island inside the Tutel Aquatic Center.
It's just incredible, and every generation is different.
Westkott has seen a lot of generations, starting his time coaching at URI in 1972. After he and his wife took teaching jobs locally, Mick at Narragansett and wife Pam at North Kingstown.
My wife and I were in D.C., and it was during the end of the Vietnam era. So we marched on Washington in '69. But we didn't want to stay there. We wanted to live in New England.
It was not long after that, Westkott landed in Kingston to coach the men's swimming program.
We had no clue what we were doing. Analog stopwatch. Sure. We had to put the lane lines in every day. We had to take them out. I don't know how we survived that first year.
But they did, and Westkott was able to build on that a few years later, helping to establish the women's program in 1975, right around the time of the passing of Title IX. Westkott gives credit to Ellie Lemaire, the late URI administrator, for pioneering it.
That leadership created for us the great environment to bring women along, and she fought hard for us.
And 349 victories after that, Westkott deciding it's time to call it a career. He hands the keys over to Lily Falconer Deering, one of his most successful swimmers, and now gets to spend more time with his family. But emotions are high for Westkott, thinking about what he'll miss.
The student athletes. And having a chance to continue to stay engaged with them. I feel very lucky that I could do it this long, and the student athletes would still put up with me.
In Kingston, I'm Nick Coit, ABC 6 Sports.
A legend right there. Thank you, Nick.